Hey everyone, having the best day of your life. I'm going to do this because I'm tired and I am alone, evidently, and I enjoy my solitude, as you can know. And so I am going to take a moment. I don't want the internet to see that. I'm going to take a moment as I am responding to emails and everything else and getting some work done. I am going to take a moment to get this stuff done and chat about art, chat about whatever, other things as well, and just ask me questions, shoot away, all that good stuff, and hopefully add some form of entertainment and some form of joy into your day. So a little bit about me. I talk about quite often, but my context is well, one. So that's funny. I've been getting some of the comments like oh manic energy stuff like that. Like I definitely have a manic energy to me at times, and I am someone who's highly energetic naturally and just runs in my family. But that being said, keep in mind, I'm somebody who's literally been doing nothing but martial arts and training and running about, talking to people all the time since I was a teenager. So it's kind of ingrained my personality. And to this point, so my friends would give me the nickname of Energy. They say, Energy! Morgan is Energy! Or my best friend, one of my closest friends, oftentimes calls me Full Force. Full, like, is it Full Force? Maximum Effort from Deadpool, if you remember that movie. And because like everything I do, I just put maximum effort into it. And that's kind of been my draw in my life is that people tell me, I just had the conversation with a friend, is that I'm not the best looking guy, I'm not the most talented guy, but I just have such a manic, well, not manic, but I have such an energy about me that I really care about people as well, which everyone, it's interesting having someone on the internet say that, but say that, but hello, if you're here, say hi. I am just answering questions, chit chatting, all that good stuff. Gonna chat about cigars or art or something like that. I really would like to talk about art today, along with cigars, because art cigars are my love and art is as well. And I need more people to talk about both with, to be honest with you. But back to what I was saying. So my love in life has always been people, working with them, and when I say that, I've been a coach or martial arts coach, teacher forever at this point, and training staff stuff like that. But something that people tell me is that I am very energetic, and that is very accurate. Like everything I do, I want to put my maximum effort into, or at least be perceived as doing my best. I want to do my best for everybody. It means a lot to me that I put my best foot forward in life. I really believe that you get out what you put in into life, and I think that generally speaking, you need to do that because otherwise, you just don't live life fully, and it's hard to push yourself. It's hard to know what you're capable of if you don't consistently push yourself. Now, with pushing yourself, I will say you have to have time to rest, and so recently, I've been pretty worn down and everything. I suffer from bad panic attacks on occasion, and I've had a rough one this time of the year, in September, beginning of October, consistently for about the last 5 years of my life. And so, like clockwork, it happened again, and this was one of the worst ones I ever had. And so I was down pretty hard for a couple weeks and just like super sensitive to any form of stress, really weirdly. I feel like a body response to stress if you ever had one of those. And so I need time to chill. And so if you notice, I've really gone hard on YouTube. That's why I really took time to go hard on YouTube because I love YouTube. I love connecting with you guys. I love sharing my life, everything else. I love just there's a beautiful community and all the great guys, and I've learned so much. And you guys give some amazing recommendations on cigars, amazing recommendations on art, on videos, on just topics and everything on literature. It's so exciting. And so it's just so beautiful to kind of build this community and just connect with everyone. So I just want to say thank you. I love you all. But also, let me know, how's your day going? What are you up to? Are you like me? Are you doing your best to get as much work done as possible while you can? But at the same note, still trying to chill out a little bit, embrace the day, enjoy it. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? How are you? Great to hear from you. How is your day going today? My day's been great. I'm exhausted. I have been I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm getting a bit of a better better spot to go to, and so I don't have I purposely live a minimalist lifestyle, so that way I don't have a lot to maintain. I can focus on what's important to me, which is my art, which is like YouTube, my art, my business, stuff like that. And so purposely I live lean. So I have that's how I have the time to have cigars, to do other things, because purposely I set my life up where I'm not and there's nothing wrong with tons of responsibility, but at this point, I'd much rather I'd much rather just rent a place and have the landlord take care of my lawn, take care of any maintenance, stuff like that, so I can put all my focus and effort into this, into my business, everything else, and just enjoy life, man. Oh, fantastic! Reserve a Real at the moment. That is so Reserve Real. I am not familiar with that one. Is that I'm not familiar. Is that like a is that a full body? Is that a medium body cigar? What type of cigar is it? I've actually today I've been smoking some Rocky Patels. Well, a Rocky Patel, and it's still sitting there, half smoked. I got scissors and my cigar scissors and cut off half of it, not half of it, but cut off part of it so I could smoke it this evening and just have a moment to chill and everything else. Oh, favorite? Yes, yes, Romeo and Julieta. Yes. Oh man, that's the medium body, correct? That's an immaculate cigar. It's so good. I keep returning to that one. I love it. Favorite cigar brand? That is so hard, man. Is it Agnarosa Leaf? Agnarosa Leaf is at the moment one of my favorite ones. They just make some amazing cigars. They make I believe their 10th anniversary they just made is a in the full body form. Beautiful smoke. So not terrible priced. It's a pricey cigar, but not bad. It's like 15, $16, something like that, but worth the money. And it has this like interesting like torpedo slash box press shape to it, where it just has this cool feel. And it's this big old ring gauge. Like it almost feels like you're probably, honestly, I was listening to a thing where it's talking about like Fidel Castro, and Fidel Castro would smoke pretty lean cigars, right? And so well, compared to today, and so honestly, a lot of the cigars I'm smoking are probably like twice the size, if not three times the size of anything Castro ever smoked, or like Churchill, for example, ever smoked. Octo Fuente, yeah, Fuente is great. They're wonderful. They have a really amazing Robusto, but they're consistently good product. Like I've never had one that's bad, consistently good. Another one that's really good is My Father cigars as well. The Judge is really outstanding. But My Father, I've never had a bad experience with. There's also one I believe it's called New World, if I'm not mistaken, which is similar to those ones. Also very very good. But again, for me, yeah, so again, for me, Acho Fuente, as cannot, I can't speak ill of them because I've never had a bad experience. Great cigar. I actually was at the cigar shop, and the gentleman who works there gave some really great recommendations. And I said, "Hey, can I just kind of do a wild card? Would you recommend I try one of these puppies?" I tried. It was I forget. It's a Lone Star, I believe, or One Star, and it was a cigar made with tobacco leaves, and it was good, but not for me though. It's like it was not a bad cigar, but for the price, everything else, like I was like, I wouldn't get this again. Like, wasn't that great? And I was gonna get the Fuente, I was gonna get My Father, like a Judge, and I was like, man, I wish I got a Judge instead because for me, I love super heavy, full body, dark cigars. Like, I love the darker, the better. I love like many good things in life. I love a really good like Darth Vader, right? Besides that, but I really love a good dark cigar, a good black peppery where you kind of taste like that blasted taste. You get all the natural oils, everything else. I just personally love that, and so it's just a great, outstanding cigar. But again, for me, I tend to go for full body, and so Maduro, I'm a big sucker for Maduros, especially it's the one that the M 81. Madeira to the core. Very, very tasty. Very good cigar. I am in my mid to late 20s. Mid to late, mid, approaching late 20s, but mid 20s. Approaching late 20s. I try not to like, I kind of get a little nervous posting like too many personal details on the internet, but So like mid 20s, so I'm like I'm still young, but I'm not like old yet. But I'm still like I'm kind of young old, as someone put it. But in my mind's eye, like age is just a number, and so I'm not terribly concerned with, oh, you're old now or whatever. No, like you're as old as you want to be. And also, like I'm healthy, I train, everything else. Um, I have an autoimmune disease. I actually have Lyme's disease, and so from that, my body has always had issue with the metabolizing processed sugar and things like that. So I actually was outside of cigars. Like I don't have any vices outside of cigars. Like maybe I've had a bad maybe some woman here and there, stuff like that. But I don't really have any real vices. Like I don't really eat any kind of sugar really for the most part. Like very limited. I mean I do obviously. I mean there's some milk. I'm drinking some goat milk actually of all things. But cigars are my one thing. Like cigars are my thing I really, really love, and I love good nicotine. But I tend to revert to cigars because I just want to avoid. For me, I've trained a lot with military guys, stuff like that. Yeah, I agree with that. Eat good and train good cigars, good balance. That's absolutely my mentality towards life. And a lot of my good friends are military, and they tend to go like, especially Marine Corps. Close friends from Marine Corps. My first black belt was a Marine Corps colonel of all things. So very hard to paint. And so he was somebody who in amazing shape into his 50s, badass human being. And he would dip, like he would still dip all the time. And we had a business trip together, amazing business trip. Like we went down to Florida, trained Krav Maga for like 3 days straight, nonstop, 12 to 14 hours a day. It was incredible. Got to train with this guy, just pit pads, everything amazing, and train with some of the best in the world, stuff like that. And and, and I remember it was my good friend and black belt. He's training. I'm seeing him. He's shooting his dip into the bottle in between rounds of sparring and stuff like. I'm like, wait a second, is this guy sparring with dip in his mouth? This is amazing. This is incredible. So something now that I'm a cigar guy, I don't dip, but now I'm a cigar guy. Hey, what's up, brother? How are you, man? Good to see you again. I thought I'd do another one while I'm doing some work here. But I just remember seeing this guy just spitting dip into the bottle in between sparring rounds, getting punched in the face, and everything else. So funny. Um, oh, that's awesome, man. So similar lifestyle. Are you a martial artist too? Do you do martial arts? Do you train? I have me and my best friends. We are doing an Ironman coming up in 6 months, I believe. So that's partly why I've been really leaning out. So like I don't tend to weigh a ton, but I've lost quite a bit of weight just because I've been training so hard. And also, I'm one of those people when I train super hard, I tend to find my stomach shrinks a little bit, which again, good problem to have. Uh, I mean, definitely worse problem to have, but good problem to have. And so I definitely lean out quite a bit whenever I really go hard in the paint training. Nice, man. Jiu-Jitsu and boxing going on 5 years. Congratulations, brother. So boxing is something personally I want to do a lot more of. I love good boxing. I love the minute head movements you do, where it's just like small. I love the fact it just really builds your body awareness and your control and everything else. Also, it teaches you to read people like crazy. Story, the reason my nose is crooked. So, when I lived in New England, I trained with some professional boxers. And my instructor was actually Vinny Paz, the boxer, remember the one who was paralyzed for a bit, came back recovered? He was Vinny Paz's sparring partner. And so, really badass guy, right? And so, I would train with him, and he would have some amateur or semi-pro or pro boxers come and train at the gym, and so I'd spar with them for like 3 hours every Friday night. And dude, like I learned to move and everything else so much because I ended up getting so many bloody noses and black and bruised and everything else. And I remember at the time when I lived in New England, everyone's that I trained with, their mentality. I still got some work done here. Their mentality was like train hard, be a badass, everything else, and and they used to be like, "Dude, you're so cool." The fact that you're so cool, the fact that you got this broken nose, this black eye, you got tape on your nose, all this stuff, and I was like, "Man, I'm so messed up. This is wild." Um, yeah, oh yeah, totally. I love the footwork. Boxing gets you so good at footwork. That's why I love it. So I love karate. I really, really do. But so I've always studied mixed traditional martial arts, or in my school, schools I've taught mixed traditional martial arts because I think there's so many benefits to different martial arts. And again, like if you're in a fight, the mentality is you do whatever it takes to win. And so I train a lot of Krav Maga. I really love Krav because Krav uses all the core principles and kind of simplifies it to just make it a little bit easier for the common guy to learn. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, Vinny's pretty cool, man. Vinny Paz is pretty awesome. Wild story. Miles Teller seemed to make a pretty legit movie with him. Yeah, oh yeah, I did watch that movie. It was good. I remember it was mostly Miles Teller just like, "Get off me!" Like yelling at his wife the whole time in very New England style, which was, which is, very very New England. People have intense relationships up there. I love New England, but definitely when I think I'm intense, I just go and visit my good friends in New England. And I realize I'm not nearly as intense as I think. But amazing people. I love Boston. I love Providence. That's where I lived. It's Providence. Great spot to be. I look forward to visiting again. And Barrington. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Very inspirational. Yeah. So I was told Vinny Paz when he trained that he just like his cardio is just nuts. And so my instructor, his cardio is through the roof, like nuts so cardio. And he said that Vinny Paz would just run circles around him consistently. Like it was just wild because he was such a crazy athlete. Pardon me. He was such a crazy athlete, and so I have so much respect for any competitor who has the ability to just get out and train and push themselves to the limit. And for me, I'm pretty type A. And so when I'm consistently reminded that my limitations are my limitations and that people have done a lot more than me, then that reminds like, wait a second, there's more in the tank. I can do a lot more. I can push myself more. And so that being said, though, like I realized too, like I have to take care of myself and rest. So with my current business I have now, I've changed a lot of business systems to simplify things just to make my life far, far easier and less stressful. Um, just so I can focus more on the things I love besides martial arts. But I definitely love martial arts, but I don't like when my business totally consumes my life. And there is an aspect of it where it will for a season, and you have to be obsessed to be successful. And I go through seasons of obsession, especially when I have certain numbers to hit, financial goals, I have to make a certain amount of money, stuff like that. Um, but I want to run a business that's consistent where I can kind of like turnkey, set it, forget it as much as possible. Which, by the way, there's no such thing as a real turnkey business like that. Like you're always going to have to keep track of your business, keep your eyeball on it, to keep it productive, could keep it making money. Same thing with stocks or anything else. Like people are like, oh, it's totally passive. You don't have to think about anything. It's exactly like fitness. Like if you start letting your fitness go, it can go downhill really fast. And it's crazy how fast you can gain weight, everything else. And so, or I'm shouting to you two people. That's it. But with that being said, that's why I like to keep my business simple, to the point, nothing crazy, and just stress free as much as possible. But yeah, so I have not a Halloween stop motion special. What are you making with the are you using action figures? Are you using claymation? Are you using Legos? Are you using just straight up animation? What are you doing to accomplish your Halloween special? Is my question. When I was a kid, I used to use Legos and do tons of Lego stop motion videos. Again, I'm a creative type. I've always been that way. So my loves have always been art, literature, fine things. I used to be really into whiskey and wine, stuff like that. However, since I got Lyme disease, my body just does not handle whiskey or wine. Nice figures, like action figures. So how do you do that? My body does not handle alcohol any longer, so I can't drink it, and it sucks. But cigars have kind of taken that spot, and I'll be honest, I've always liked cigars more than alcohol, and cigars don't leave me feeling terrible like alcohol does, or potentially, or potentially make really horrible, horrible life choices that end in disaster from the impairment that comes with alcohol. So I have nothing against alcohol, but alcoholism does run in my family. And my best friend has struggled with it and conquered it. And so I try to just enjoy in moderation everything, but alcohol, me and alcohol, just we don't mix anymore, and so I don't try to make a mix just because I don't drink. But I have no judgment for anyone who chooses to go that route. As I send this email here. Um, but hey, how's it going, man? Oh, what's up, buddy? How are you, good sir? I appreciate your comments. What cigar are you smoking today? Now, are you Cigar House Atlanta? Are you an actual cigar shop? Are you a lounge? Are you just a guy who's hanging out? Because I know, so where I'm at, I have a cigar lounge I adore. I frequent often, and I love the community there. I love the people. I've made some amazing friends. I probably annoy them a little bit because I tend to talk too much at times. Um, but yeah, I know I've absolutely loved my cigar lounges. I know whenever I go to a big city or any city, the first thing I do is I always find a cigar lounge to visit, and then I go and just kind of immerse myself, have conversation, make some connections, meet some amazing people, stuff like that. And so cigar lounges has always been my lowest barrier to entry to make friends, to build relationships, to learn about places and people, stuff like that. I remember when I moved to Dallas, which is a massive city, like what, like 9 million, something crazy, the whole metro, Dallas and Fort Worth. So I remember I was like real lonely at first, as many of us are when you first go to a big city. And so I was like, why am I so lonely? And then I started frequenting a cigar lounge there in Fort Worth, because I ended up going to Fort Worth. And that's when I started building a community, building friends, getting friendships, everything else. A great conversation, great people, all those things, all from that cigar lounge there in Fort Worth. Good Karma Cigar. Good Karma Cigar in Fort Worth. If any of you guys have ever been to it, highly recommend. Great spot. They have a beautiful dog that just kind of roams around the cigar lounge and just sits at your feet, and will you just pet it. It's just the most fun ever. And they have, and I love the vibe because they had like Hunter S. Thompson artwork all over the wall, and they had like Death Race 2000 posters, and then rollerball posters and everything else. Ooh, what's my favorite movie or show? That's so difficult. So favorite movie, probably this will be very basic, and this will also what everyone expects, but it's true. Probably Fight Club or The Godfather. And Fight Club, I've always loved, particularly the end line, which is "You met me at a very interesting time in my life," and I adore. However, besides that, I will say one movie that I adore is Lawrence of Arabia and The Godfather Part Two. That's two movies, but Lawrence of Arabia, that's a classic. It's one of the most beautiful films ever shot. Like every shot is a masterpiece, and I just love it. Gift Sweet cigar enthusiast. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of the same thing with me. I'm just an enthusiast. I just love sharing content, connecting with everybody, and that's been so much fun for me. So that's why I've started doing these videos and lives and everything else. I've been able to meet some amazing people and everything else. All I know is a lot of the really exciting relationships I've made in my life, I've made through cigars. And so I thought, well, why not share it online and share something I'm passionate about? And also, I'm a creative type, so being able to still pursue my creative interests and be able to, talk about, business or art or whatever it is. Guys, it's allergy season here, so my allergies are acting up a little bit. Not gonna lie, but I am a-okay. But being able to talk about those things has been so fun and exciting for me. Just because it's just beautiful to connect with other human beings, and we have the internet. And I know forever I didn't post on the internet to the same degree just because I was kind of self conscious, or I thought, oh, it's a waste of time, or it's not for me, or I tell myself I don't understand technology. And then the same thing as always in life, you always tell yourself that. Then once you start to learn stuff or understand things, like the same reason, like oh, I don't need a girlfriend, I don't care about girls, and you finally get one, and you're like, oh my god, it's just so much better, or stuff like that. I just realized quickly that I really love connecting with everyone. I love YouTube, particularly YouTube. I don't really care too much for TikTok or other forms of social media that much. I do have an Instagram, Chris Donner Artist, if you want to check it out. I post some cigar stuff. I was posting mostly my art things for the longest time because I do art. I've sold a lot of art and stuff like that as well. That's not my main gig, but it is what I love to do is art. It's Malcolm in the Middle. You're funny. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, Bryan Cranston started in Malcolm in the Middle, right? And look at Bryan Cranston. I was actually watching some Breaking Bad, which that's the question for favorite show is Breaking Bad, like by a mile. I know it's basic, but I love that show. But Bryan Cranston, it's hilarious the similarities between his character in that show and Walter White, and how he learned a lot of the mannerisms and everything to be that kind of angry middle-aged guy, um, who just was resentful towards everyone and everything in life. As Walter White, and kind of seemed to learn a lot of those character traits from playing the dad in Malcolm in the Middle, and just kind of being a crazy goofball and all that good stuff. So it's actually a good show, but yeah, I'm aware. I know my nickname for basically so many places I've lived. People always give me a nickname, and so my friends would always call me, or they call me Energy. They said energy, energy, and then a lot of people call me Pretty Boy or 12-year-old. And so I look really young, and so I've always looked young. Like I've looked the same age since I was about 15 years old. It was really wild. I remember I ran into someone and have some friends. I see them, like every 2 years, every 3 years, and every time I see them, do, oh my gosh, like you look the same. Like you might even look younger than you looked. This is really weird. And so, just in my family, we just seem to look the same age basically forever and consistently. And so it's kind of a good problem to have. Good genetics. And so that's why, the cigars a little age me a little bit. I need some of that. Not being facetious, but I'll work it while I can. But yeah, I do look very young. I do look like I'm 15 years old or 12 at times. So I'm very self-aware about that. But I do laugh whenever I get comments like that. It just kind of brings me joy. It makes me laugh and all those good things. But also, besides cigars, what I love to talk about, what really interests me, is my love of art, my love of creation, my love of just sketching, and all those good things. That's my other passion besides making YouTube videos or martial arts or just talking about life or everything else. And also, like, I've lived kind of an interesting life, and I have a very unique mentality towards life. So I like sharing. Oh, thank you! Finally, someone liked the video. Again, guys, if you like it, I appreciate it because that pushes up the algorithm and helps grow the channel, build a community, everything else. So it means a lot. And the community has been growing. It's like so exciting. Yes, art. Art is the way. Thank you for the likes, everybody. I appreciate it. Art is the way. Or at least it's my way. And so I like to do, like for example, little quick sketches like this puppy here, and just off the top of my head, kind of riff. Oh, thank you for likes, everyone. Like the way what is it? The way like jazz, right? Like I love good jazz music, like jazz. Like I don't really go to bars, but I love to go to a good jazz lounge or jazz bar. Like oh my gosh, makes me so happy. Like especially the jazz bar with the cigar. Oh, so happy. But with that, I love art or expression that comes across like it's off the cuff. That's why I love listening to Miles Davis so much, or Chet Baker, for example, just because they seem like they're super duper candid in the art they make, and especially the tortured soul of Chet Baker, well, and Miles Davis. They're both definitely tortured souls to say the least. I really enjoy seeing that. It's just a very cool perspective, and just feels like a human being is just laying their heart out on the line and just sharing the art with the universe. And you kind of hear the tired and the exhaustion in their voice to an extent, and it's relatable. And as somebody who has worked like super hard for numerous 100-hour work weeks, worked to like almost collapse from exhaustion on numerous occasions. I relate to that, and not exactly healthy. Oh, happy birthday! Happy birthday! I hope you have the best day of your life. I'm sketching, so I didn't, here's a birthday sketch for you. Happy birthday! Or I'll write out. Um, I'll write out happy birthday. There we go. I wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday. Hope you're having the best day of your life. But as I was saying, oh, 13. Happy 13-year-old birthday. Happy 13 is an exciting age. Learn, grow. You are molding into an awesome human being, and just take it all with a grain of salt. Because there's so much knowledge to be learned, and you are just absurdly young and just barely getting started on this beautiful thing called life, and it is a ride. So enjoy it while it lasts, and savor childhood because childhood is a blast. Adulthood is a lot of fun as well. Just adulthood, there's a lot more repercussion for your actions, so you have to be more cautious of your actions and your inputs in life when you become an adult. And so it's not bad. It's just that you have to be more responsible. And so you learn responsibility in childhood so you can bring those character traits into adulthood and help people and live an amazing, beautiful life. And that's what I like to do. Cake for everyone. Well, thank you. Much appreciation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I appreciate all the likes, everybody. You're the best, you're the best. I know I am fairly new to doing live YouTube videos, so these have been cool to do live YouTube videos. I have done some live TikToks in the past, stuff like that. It was cool. I enjoyed them. Had some, made some money off it, believe it or not, which that was really wild to me. I was like, I make money off TikTok. That's interesting, but I just don't like TikTok. TikTok's not for me. I like YouTube. I'm an old soul. YouTube feels like, now it's like the golden days. It's like the prime of content creation. I still think it is. I really think it is. I think YouTube's the way to go. And so I mean I could be wrong, but I think YouTube's the way to go. So I stick with YouTube because it's what interests me. It's what I like, and also makes the most sense. Yes, yes. Yeah, my childhood was living hell. Like if you watch my videos, I had a immensely horrible childhood. Good in ways. It was really good. I made some amazing lifelong friends because of the hardship, and also probably bonded a lot because they also went through a similar hardship in childhood. But yeah, no, my childhood was one I wouldn't recommend to others. However, we do need experiences. We need things to mold us into who we are today. And every hero and villain have a similar origin story. It's just how you choose to look at life and how you choose to pursue your life. And I've chosen to pursue a life of where I pursue joy, I pursue beauty, I pursue seeing the best in life, I pursue trying to live my life fully because I believe God put us here to do great things. One of my favorite quotes is from Fyodor Dostoevsky, which is "Beauty will save the world," which coincidentally comes from the book The Idiot, which again he wrote The Idiot after he did some very stupid stuff and gambled away all of his money and had a borderline manic episode. And I definitely relate to Dostoevsky in ways at times. And it's kind of the mentality of despite the hardship or suffering in life is you have to embrace it, understand we have suffering for a reason, but also suffering does not define us, and that we can choose to pursue love and joy and see beauty in the world, regardless of the suffering that we suffer and the suffering we go through. Because life is suffering. Why suffer further? Why make it worse? Yeah, because life is suffering, and so why not make life beautiful and do the good things? So that's why I make art, I sketch, I journal, I try to make notes, I try to write what I'm grateful for. I try to even as a sketch, just a quick janky sketch where I draw my cup of coffee in my book. Sit in my book first thing in the morning. It brings me joy. It brings me love. It makes me feel like I am happy. It makes me excited to be here on this beautiful thing that we call life. But yeah, yeah. So bad childhoods happen. It's part of life, and a bad childhood, albeit it makes things difficult for a while, it's something you can overcome, and even better, it's something that gives you the experiences necessary that makes you appreciate life more and makes you also be there to help other people who have been through something similar. And so I really believe that we go through things so we can get our gift and give it back to other people. Deeply philosophical. I try. I'm a Texas boy. I can only speak from my Southern wisdom, and just speak from my perspective. But I spend most of my time reading. I spend most of my time listening, in free time listening to books on tape, listening to literature, to concepts, different things. And so that's also why I love cigars so much, because cigars or pipes, for example, are a thinking man's habit. And so that's true. A thinking man's habit, and so that's why I enjoy it. And by the way, guys, if you're a kid watching, like, do not touch any tobacco. Do not touch any tobacco product. Do not touch it. Nicotine, do not touch it until you're of age. I recommend if you do the research first and make sure you make an informed decision for yourself. I do not touch other forms of nicotine besides cigars. I smoke cigars in moderation, one a day at absolute most. And on occasion, I'll have two a day on a special occasion, but in general, I have 3 to 5 a week at absolute most, guys. So just know, like everything in life in moderation, moderation is key, moderation is beautiful, but you have to view it like a cigar. You have to kind of view it similar to eating a cookie. Like, if you eat a cookie, like one cookie a day, it's not going to kill you. But if you smell your apartment like marijuana, that's not good. And yeah, that's a shame. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you get out of there, but if you are going through a tough time, just realize your perception of time when you're younger is vastly different from when you age. When you age, time goes by really, really fast, but when you're younger, you feel like because you have nothing to relate time to and so many things are brand new, time goes by really slowly and it's almost monotonous at times. And as you age, time tends to go faster and faster because you've done the same tasks over and over again, and so what you relate it to is just you're just almost an autopilot in seasons. So you have to practice awareness, and so when you're a kid, yeah, the hardship seems like it will never end. It seems like it'll never. No, feel better. You feel better, but it feels like it'll never end. But you will get through it. You will be okay, and then you'll look back. And even if you had a bad childhood, you will still look back and have fond memories for seasons. And I can say I personally will look back and I can see things and realize the wrong that happened. Let him cook, and realize the wrong that happened, and but also see it through the lens of I was a child, and so I saw things in one way. But I can look back as an adult and realize from my experiences, which have changed drastically in adulthood, after I've had some life, some heartbreaks, some relationships, everything else, I can look back and I can relate things differently as a grown adult compared to childhood. Oh, happy birthday, Taco Bell. Happy birthday. Are you the great Taco Bell? Are you what I survived off of for like a year when I was living at the back of a cry school? Yeah, I'm sorry, neighbor vapes. So I have nothing against people, but I don't like vaping. It's not for me. I don't like vaping at all, to be honest with you. Um, oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. I don't care for vaping. So cigars I love, and so ash does not smell good, period. Like ash doesn't. But I love the smell of a cigar. Like a cigar is just wonderful. With vaping, vaping seems to, we don't have a lot of research on it, but it's nothing but chemicals. And so vaping seems like not a good call. And I know a lot of people have done it. Yep, I love God as well. Jesus is the way, man. Jesus is the way. But yeah, I don't think that vaping's the best call, to be honest with you. I'm not one to judge people. Again, I smoke cigars again in moderation. But a cigar is pure tobacco. I've done a lot of research. My dad's a physician. I know a lot of physicians. I've been to the doctor, talked to him about it, everything else. And, well, I mean, maybe it's because my doctor also smokes cigars, but besides that, I'm not worried about cigars the same way, but vaping, just the amount of chemicals, additives, and everything else that makes me nervous. I don't know. I don't know. I know it definitely happens to some smokers. It happens. It tends to not happen as often as people think it happens. And don't smoke, but like, my grandmother's a chain smoker and she survived lung cancer, and she beat it at 81 years old. So a lot of things, sadly, people don't like to say this, but a lot of things in life is also just genetics. Is it lagging? Is it lagging? I'm sorry if it's lagging. Sorry if it's lagging, guys. I'm gonna end this shortly just 'cause I have things to do. But a lot of things are just genetics as well, and so some people are more predisposed to certain diseases, certain things, other things. Same thing, like some people are just born and they just can put on muscle like crazy, and it's nuts. It's not fair. Some people just have a genetic predisposition to different things, and so I think people don't like to talk about that concerning a lot of vices or stuff like that. All right, Taco Bell, appreciate you, man. Is that the fact that we, as people, some people just suffer more than others, sadly. Same thing, like I'm lactose intolerant. Um, hey, what's up? Hey, how's it going? Is it Nahani? So I don't really condone any form of drug use, but I don't condone drug use, but I will say that, or unhealthy things like sugar, but same thing, like I don't handle sugar well. I don't handle sugar well. A lot of people don't have that same issue. So I don't handle processed sugar, but many people processed sugar is like just not a big deal and they can just rock it all day. But again, if you think about cigars or anything like that, it's something you don't touch it until you're of age, legally, everything else, and do research before you get into a habit like that. Just because, again, it's still smoke, it's still a vice, so you want to be careful with everything. But the same way, you want to be careful, be of age before you drive a car, and know the rules, know how to handle it, everything else, be prepared, all those things. Like so, just everything in life, be prepared, know the consequences, and be able to take responsibility for consequences. Oh my God, gosh, you better tell her parents. If she's 9, she's doing that, that's seriously unhealthy if that's true. Tell her parents immediately because a 9-year-old should not be touching anything like that. And also, kids that age tend to lie often about things. Like I know when I was my age, we all lied about everything, and well, at that age we all lied about everything because we wanted to impress people. So yeah, you should absolutely not touch anything like that if you're that age, and her parents should be informed immediately. Yeah, immediately. So put an end to that, young lady. Uh, yeah, put an end to that immediately and tell her to get out of your house because that is terrible that you do that. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here just because I have some stuff to do. I want to go relax. Anyway, guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. You're amazing and beautiful, all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. I appreciate you being here on the show, for the comments. Anyway, guys, I will see you later. Have the best of your life. Adios, amigos. All right, bye bye. Bum, bum, bum.